Morning, welcome back to another episode of Ali's Digger Diary. It's Thursday morning. We've just been doing a quick hitch switch from the customer's old digger onto his new digger. That's a Geeth hitch, but it picks up 3CX headstocks, if that makes sense. That hitch has only done 18 months, so the customer just said, oh, we'll just swap it across. We put new quick hitch pipes on it. He's taking it away. That's the last of the old shaped 62s now. Don't often get to watch machines go up onto trailers, so we'll see if this one falls off. Oh, he's a good hand, look. He's even using his hands, not his feet. Doing it right. Anyway, I have got a DX27 just local. It's got an oil leak, so I'm going to nip to that. And then I've got a 350 shovel to go and see. That's got an oil leak as well. Surprise. Okay, the weather's catching up. It's starting to rain again, which is disappointing. 27, it's got an oil leak. Said it's from the tank area. This is where the tank is behind here, and sure enough, got oil dripping. Yuck. So I'm going to take this top cover off, but I don't know what all I'll see. To be fair, it seems to be a bit lower down. I'll take this top off because I'll need it off either way to top the oil up. That would be the problem. The cap's rattled off. Oh dear, oh dear. Right, we'll chuck some oil back in it and then put the lid back on. I'm pleased to see that. Looks like someone's trying to be in here. Look, there's a bolt loose. Sabotage! I don't know. That is a nice easy fix, isn't it? Never. What a nice little breakdown this is. I was thinking when I was round here, I was like, oh god, the oil's at the bottom. Has the plastic tank been rubbing on something it shouldn't be? And we got a hole in the tank. I was going from naught to disaster in 30 seconds, but that's a pleasant surprise. Just a shame it's made such a mess. I was enjoying the sunshine yesterday. Anyway, it's one of those jobs where the paperwork will take longer than doing it. They're few and far between these days. It's about time I had some easy work. Let's hope this next one's just a loose pipe with a bust O-ring, shall we? It's in among the transmission, this oil leak, so it could be anything like. Could be anything. I've got a tarmac wagon blocking this site exit now. Wonderful. Right, DL350. Feels like a baby shovel, this, doesn't it? I suppose it's mid-range for us. Oil leak is when you steer, and the only reason I know that is because I've been in here looking and getting it to do different functions one at a time. In among that nest of hoses behind there somewhere, like you can see there's half a dozen damp, but it's absolutely running out when he dead ends the steering. So I'm just going to cut some cable ties and see what all I can feel, if you know what I mean. I'm not going to feel for a nick in a hose while the machine's running. That would just be silly. I'm suspecting that one there. It might be. See, you've got these pressure ports here where you can just plug your pressure gauges onto here. It might be a steering pressure. I'm hoping anyway. It might just be a steering pressure part because these just dead end. So we can follow this back to where it goes to, if it is, and just cap it off. Take the pipe out, get one made, and then when we come back and service it, whenever that may be, on a drier, warmer day. God, right. Get some cable ties cut in here, I think. Right, I've done me ratcheting around. I'm covered in grease. This one here, that one goes down here, through there, loops round and onto here. This one that I've pulled. I think the way to test it is I'll disconnect it from there, cap it, and then a bit of luck, we should see no more oil. 19mm and a ORFS cap. Okay, I have taken both these ends off, and it's the same part number on this pipe as it is on that pipe, so it's capped there, it's capped there. I was thinking, why does it need to go from there all the way down through there, rub on the pipe like it's rubbed on the main feed hose to the pump, main feed pipe to the pump, steel pipe, so that is okay, and then come all the way back to here? Why can't it go from there across to there? Then it doesn't rub on anything. It's not like it's articulating, look. This stays with this, it articulates here. Just noticed that now. Anyway, what I'll be able to do is start it up, turn the steering full lock. By the time I climb down those steps, we shouldn't see any oil running down in there. That is the goal, that is the dream. No leaks. Grand. So I'll just take a note of that part number and then I can just come back with the correct pipe. I don't need to ratchet it all out. I can attach the new pipe to this old pipe when I come back. And yeah, no drama. I'm not quite finished here yet because I've got this joystick to fit. That came in at the start of the week on a stock order for them, and I phoned them and I said, oh, I've got this joystick in, just let us know when you want us to come. And then the machine broke down, so I thought I'll just put that in the van in case I've got time to fit it. Well, they're still on the lunch, so we'll fit it. This is just not the 5-minute job you expect it or want it to be. I've got stuff scattered everywhere. I was hoping that what I would do is take the 4 Allen bolts out that hold this lot on, lift it up enough to squeeze, unplug it and pull the plug through, and then just screw that on, lift that up enough to put the plug through and then get it slotted into there and there, which is where these rubber bits sit. Not that easy, like, because underneath here, which you can't see, but I can show you the plug. See, I've got half a plug that isn't used. The other half of the plug is for the got these black wires going to it, and that's the detent. So when you put your return to dig in, this is the type that's got magnets on here that holds it in place. So when you pull the lever back to lift it up to wagon height, it physically holds the lever back. All I need to do is get those pins out of there and put them into my new plug once I've got the new handle wound on, but it's anybody's guess how that comes out of there. It looks like there's like lugs either side of those that I need to get squeezed in. I have got a doodah that I might go and try and see if I can get it to do it. Update, it's going well, bit of patience, and that one seems to just about do the job. I practiced on the coloured wires because obviously they're already in my new plug before I absolutely obliterate the black wires. We're getting there. I'm going to fetch my airline up here and just give everything a good get all the grit out, because it's the grit that gets into these seals and makes them damp and start weeping. Right, I've got it. Before I put it all properly back together, do a function test. So to put it into forward and reverse on the joystick, you pull that button at the back, you press that middle button, so that'll make it go, oh wait, park brake on. Those two at the same time. That brings up the FR down there, yeah, to select forward. pull that button on the back there and select forward. Forward, it's away forward. Reverse, forward, reverse, neutral, horn, everything's good. Park brake back on, boom on the floor. The retention dig does sort of work, but it's as though the magnets aren't strong enough, if that makes sense. But whether that changes once I've got everything bolted back down, I don't know. But there is something there, because when I get it all the way past level and try and do it, it's not even trying to grab it, if that makes sense. To be fair, both functions were turned off, so I don't know whether they even use it. Right, we'll put this back together. Okay, everything is back together, and I've got my airline in the cab because I've been cleaning everything up as I go, put it back together. It's lovely in there now, and I've found that this, yeah, that magnet's weak. It did just do it. There we go. Hang on. Doesn't want to do it on the bucket curl. I can feel it trying. Whoa, you tinker. Yeah, doesn't do it on the bucket curl. I think that's a good job, well done, Al. Oh, it's a magnificent job. Magnificent job! Right, I've got stuff everywhere, look. Can you see? All that stuff. Way up. Turned my gas on by accident. Could have gone up in flames then. You'll never guess what. I've gone past the job that I went to first thing, like DX27, and I'm out west now. And got a micro digger to look at. Ta-da! Won't start. Customer thinks it's the starter motor, but the starter motor hasn't caught fire this time. So I'm just going to check that it is going to be the starter motor, because it's not just a simple whip it off and fit it kind of a thing, is it, with these micros? So do anything like this, verify battery voltage is good, and it is. Then we want to check the exciter wire, which is this one in here. Starter motor sounds grumpy, but it is trying to turn over. So we'll find the relay. Where's the relay? That one there, I reckon. We'll check this out and I'll get it unplugged. Oh, it's starting to rain again. So this is our relay. We've got main power feed in, which should be 12 volts, it is. And then we'll have a live and an earth. When we turn the ignition, this will become live, which will pull the relay in to put power across to here. So what I'll do is I'll put power from this pin across to that pin and see if it tries to turn over any better. Right, we'll do this. Yeah, that ain't good. I think it's the starter motor sounds ropey as hell, doesn't it? What I should do is just check what the power is when it's under load, see if it's dropping out. Just stick that in there. I can, without touching that. Hang on, 2 hands. Right, we'll see what the current drop is, the power drop when I put it under load. Yeah. Starter motor. Right, we'll get that air filter off, disconnect the battery. I did call him at the yard, where did I put the starter motor? Ooh, where did I put the starter motor? Oh, they're the filters. I picked up the filters. Oh, starter motor's down here. Goodness me! I was in such a hurry, I thought I'll just squeeze this job in because it's, what time is it now? 4 o'clock. I thought if I squeeze this job in, then I've got loads done today. This job came in, believe it or not, when I was at that 27, and I thought I need to get through to that shovel, which is the other side of Carlisle, and I would have liked to get this job done and out of there because I am not local tomorrow. So anyway, when I got back, that's what I was telling you, and before I started telling you a load of nonsense, when I got back to the yard, I ran in, grabbed the starter motor. He wants an engine oil change while I'm here. So I ran in, grabbed everything and set back off again, and when I couldn't find my starter motor box, I started to panic. Probably my best time yet for fitting a starter motor to one of these. I'm just going to save myself a job in future. That was pushed against that when I took the air filter housing off. I noticed this kind of went like that. You can see it's been rubbing down here. Hasn't got to the wiring yet, which is good, but I'm going to remove this out of here. I should probably just get a Stanley knife, but push that out of there. It says. There we go. Pull that out of there, and I'll put a cable tie so it's sat over here, out of the way. Right, that's taken 20 minutes. Give it a bit of heat. No, I can't. It's going to take 21 minutes because I haven't put the battery on. Right, try again. Bit of heat. The light's on now. And ignition on. Beautiful. Right, I'll let that run so that the oil's warm, and then we'll do an oil change. Okay, that's been running for about 10 minutes while I've been looking at what I'm going to do tomorrow. So, 14mm plug under there, we'll get this cylinder here. My waste filter capacity is full, but my waste oil isn't, if that makes sense. I got rid of all my waste oil this morning, so we will just have to chuck the filters somewhere in the van and forget about them. What am I getting? 14mm. 14mm. There we go, 5 o'clock. Hub's done. And fuel, engine oil, done. Right, time to clock off. I'll put the boom down. Grand. Home time. Guess where we are this morning? We've got a Pooley car dismantler. So that's right, we are back at Baxenden Car Breakers for this reason. If I pull the lipstick out of here, you can see that there is hydraulic oil running out of the Slew gearbox, which means that the seal on the shaft of the motor is leaking oil. So they were going to let us work on the machine down here, but just with the age of the motor and everything of that, I says if there's all I've got with me is a seal kit, so if we can't reseal it, or the reseal doesn't work, the machine might be down for a couple of days while we get a new motor, so I don't want to clog the yard up. So we've got it tucked away over here. So yeah, we'll get it ripped out and see what we see. Okay, I've got this piece peeled back out the way. Got a little ratchet strap on it, keep it out my road. So it's the same, remember 2 weeks ago now, I did one of these in the field. Just exactly the same job really, only we're going to strip it down. So what do we need? 27, 19, is that going to be 41? 8mm Allen keys, 10mm Allen key for down there, and I want to crack these bolts here. These ones, I want them cracked before I take it out because they're FT, guarantee it. Right, I'll just make a start draining the oil out that gearbox and it doesn't make more mess, I suppose. We'll come to the cab, turn the ignition on, lift the pilot lever up, make sure there's no pressure in them, but I think if I remember rightly when I serviced it, going by how it didn't settle out, the pilot accumulator doesn't work. So there might be a little bit of pops and bangs with some pipes that I take off. Just gotta be careful. And finally, make sure there's no pressure in the tank. Okay, start ripping. Right, I've got all pipes off. I've had 2 phone calls to attend to as well, which is fun when you clot up with oil. So all that's left to do is take that ring of bolts out, lift it out, but first I'm just gonna, like I say, crack them bolts there so I don't have to try and ratchet strap the motor to me bench to do it, because when I strip that one in the yard just have a nosy, I really struggle to get them undone. I have all the bolts out from around here, bar one, and remember last time I did it I was saying how I was complaining because I couldn't get it out for the filler neck, and everybody was saying, oh, you should use a crow's foot, and I forgot at the time that I had a set of crow's feet. Well, I remembered this time. And unfortunately the pack goes from 36 to 41 and it's a 38. Ah, damn it. So I'll go downstairs and try and, to be fair, there's a lot more space on these older machines, so I should get a 38 on it, no bother. Right, we are ready to lift out. I've just see it moving there. So I'll get one of the lads once they've done what they're doing. I'm not going to show you because I'm not. So I will get one of the lads to give us a lift out with this. Could use a forklift, I suppose, but I will just man it. So, got the motor out. It was absolutely pouring it down with rain. I was going to get footage of us lifting it out, but it went pretty much the same way as a fortnight ago. There was a lad here lifting it and I was just sort of giving him words of encouragement. So we've got it in the vise. What I've done is I've just taken that snap ring off that sits on. There's a indent there you can just make out, and that's just so I don't need to worry about taking that off when I've got this in 100 pieces. So I've got my workbench stripped down like that. So hopefully when I did that slew motor in the yard, just have a bit nosy, I had oil running down the back of the workbench, and I don't want to repeat that because it was a nightmare to tidy and clean up. Got oil catcher under there, so let's get this apart. I think first I'm just going to get my airline and just try and get some of this grit and rubbish out of the road before I start, you know, stripping things down, because we want to keep everything as clean as possible once we get into the guts of here, if we're going to be rebuilding it. Another thing to mention is when it was on its side, I grabbed hold of the shaft and there's no play in it, which is promising, to be fair. Okay, take this bit off first. This is the top. That is a technical term for it. This bit here, yeah, it's the top. Big bolt. 1, 2. We're just going to take this up gently now, because under here is where all the springs are for holding the slew brake on. There we go. Pull that out of there. Right, so we can lift this piece off.
Few bits.
Getting there. Top's off. Right, we need to take this plate out of here. In fact, we'll take all these springs out of here. So all these springs are pushing down on the bit like clutch plates, really. You've got a friction plate, and then you've got a clear disc, and it's that sandwiches together, which when you park the machine up, it's more for transport. So when that's on the back of the wagon and you set off, it's these springs pushing down on the plates underneath here that stops your boom from swinging around on the back of a wagon, basically. So it's like the park brake. So we need to take all these springs out one by one.
There's a few, isn't there?
Yeah. Stack them up like that, you think, oh god, is there some missing? Look. Yeah. Next we take this piece out, hopefully. Oil's got a suction. Right, and that needs to go over onto this piece here, upside down, because we're turning everything upside down. It doesn't matter about springs. That needs to go that way up. A little bit of score in there. That there is okay. Right, now what we need to do, I want all this oil out of here first. But next thing we need to do, this piece here is your park brake. So you've got all those springs pushing that down, and you've got oil coming in here. So when you start the machine up, lift your pilot lever up, this immediately gets oil, and that pops up like that, which then allows the slew motor to work. So I've got this off now, and it's that hole there. What we're going to do is blow compressed air into there, and hopefully this will just pop up. Hopefully. These holes, there's a hole there and a hole there which is tapped, and you can put a special tool, which is basically a bit of flat bar, into there, and then screw it down against this shaft to encourage it up the way. But I was shown, pretty sure, I don't know how much oil I'm going to squirt everywhere when I do this. There we go. See that? And that's basically, when I do this, that is essentially what the pilot oil feed, when you lift your pilot lever up, your dead man lever up, that is the first bit on the machine that gets the pressure, and that's to release the brake, because you don't want to be digging a hole against this brake. So what I'll do next is get a couple of bolts and just lift it out. We'll just make sure it hasn't sat back down again. Yeah, that's good. Right, so I've got my bolts into here now. Should be able to wiggle this out, hopefully. and it goes tight like that, which is really annoying. Right, I'll get a pry bar. No worries, mate.
You alright? I've been waiting 24 hours for this. Fantastic. This way, mate. If you want to just back up a bit.
Just gonna work it out like this. There we go. That is free. So we'll lift this out. So this is similar idea to brakes in a tractor as well, if you like, or a telehandler.
If you put power on, we'll have a look.
Right, pull this out.
Yeah, go back there.
We'll tip this upside down. Over here. So around here we've got a seal, which I should have in that bag, I'm hoping. And then next we need to take these brakes out. Yeah, there's a bit in there where I can get a 90-degree pick in. 90 degree, loads of 90-degree picks, look. That's not a 90-degree one. I'm filling my toolbox up with oil, look.
Get it out.
Get in there, yeah. Here's one of the first plates. You'll notice that one's smooth, and then the next one will be coarse. We can get him out. A bit of a fiddle like. Ding, ding. Got a double whammy here. There we go. See, that one's got the friction part of it on it, and you'll notice that it's like brand new. A lot of people think that when you're slewing a machine, it's this brake pack here that's stopping it. When you come round to a stop, it's this brake pack here that's stopping it, but it isn't. It's these two cartridge valves here that work opposite, which restricts the oil flow. There'll be a couple more of these I need to ratchet out. Right, the next bit is pulling this motor out in one piece. Right, I was doing the filming for them rather than for me. So I do apologise. Where we've got up to, we've taken this bit out, then this bit pulls out, which is where you've got the pistons. You can see how this face here is on an angle. So as this spins round, these pistons go up and down. Does that make sense? But yeah, this is where the seal runs, and it's in really good order. Oh, not as bad as I expected, so we might have a chance with a new seal. Look at that. You can see where it has been running, but it's just polished rather than pitted or scored. Can't dig my fingernail at all into that, which is good. Pretty sure that line there is meant to be there, like so. Right, we need to get this bearing out of here. I can't remember how it said to do it. That's the seal right at the bottom there, so we need to get this out of here. Oh, it's gonna... Yes. Good. Pop that on there, so it's that way around and it goes back in. Right then. Spray that seal out. Okay, Ali, why is everything in a box? That is why everything's in a box. Do you want to know what a bad day looks like for me? You're looking at it now, being a long way from anywhere that you're familiar with, and being faced with the fact that the seal out of that seal kit The one that you really need, you've got 2 chances to get the right seal kit by 1 number in the part number and 2 or 3 numbers on the serial number. Now we use the right serial number, however, that serial number on that machine should not have that Slew motor in. So when we ordered the seal kit for that machine and that serial number, this would have been correct. I think I'm right in saying. All the other seals are correct. I've already identified that with these seals. These are the ones I'm most bothered about because these are going to seal the Slew brake, so they are correct. I've put the old seals back in there just so when I come to reseal it, I'll do one at a time and I don't get them mixed up. But yes, that is the difference. So that is a 45, 65, 8. This is a 45, which is the internal diameter, which is perfect. 68, 12. So 68 is the outside diameter and 12 is the thickness. Now when I got this out the bag earlier, I just thought that there was a seal stuck inside here, because when I glanced at that, I thought, oh, that looks about right. So I just thought there was a seal stuck inside there, and I braid that one out, which at the end of the day, the seal's knackered, so it has to come out either way. So that is what a bad day looks like for Ali's bigger diary. However, I have scoured the internet and spoken to a couple of local hydraulic hose engineers, and one very helpful bloke gave me the number for a couple of spots. First spot that I phoned, which is 20 minutes away, has got the seal sat on the shelf, which should be identical to where have I just put them. Where did I just put them? I was chatting. Oh, here. In the tray. So we should be able to get a new one of those. So I'm packed up. That's why everything's in the box. To keep everything together, I've laid it into the box how it was sat on the bench. We'll go quietly and should be alright. Should be safe. Right, there we go. Hopefully that'll do the same job. It is identical, so it should do the job, shouldn't it? There's only one way to find out. Spend 2 hours building the thing back up. Okay, we're in the build-up process. New seal is in, shaft is in. As I'm building everything up, I'm either applying oil so that everything moves nicely, or in the case of replacing these brake seals, I'm putting plenty of grease on here, so that when we put the new piston in, put the piston back in, that everything is going to be sliding together. Sliding in, because what can happen, and you don't know until you put the motor back onto the machine, is the oil escapes around the seal that you've just installed because you've nipped it, and the Slew brake won't release. So that is, we're definitely nowhere near out the woods yet. And the same goes for that seal underneath. We don't know if it's gonna hold oil until we get it onto the machine. That is the drawback to repairing parts, I guess. And to be honest with you, if we had a new motor, I'd have been packing up and leaving by now, regardless of the sort of seal being wrong. But I suppose it'll pay off in the long run if everything goes back together as it should. So we need these brake packs out of here. Get the brake pack that way up, as you can see the marks on here. Marry up with these marks down here, so it's 1, 2, 3 alternating between a wear plate like that and a friction plate like that. So the wear plate, as you can see, holds onto the body of the motor, and then the friction plate goes on these splines down here, which is in the shadow. Also, there is on these wear plates there's a gap, and I think they are to be staggered, if you know what I mean. Get the jimmy in. There we go. And the last one. And there. Lovely little do. You get a bit of oil. Everything's still fairly well coated in the old oil, to be fair. You can see by my hands. Right. The bit I'm least looking forward to. Popping this thing in. We'll give it a clean up. Fingers crossed this works. Right, that's gone well. Just a gentle tap with the hide hammer, and then it just sort of fell into place. Well, got so far down, and then you just have to gently tap it, and it just gets the rubber past the seals. So we're looking good at the minute. Right, next job is that. No, that needs to stay with that actually. Tell a lie. I need to put these springs on now, because when I tip this upside down, this is going to want to fall off, but we need to get these dowels lined up with this plate. That's the way it has to go. And you can't get the dowels lined up with this plate because you're pushing against the springs, so we need to stick that to that, which, to be fair, I bet if I lift that upside down now it'll be all right. There's a rubber o-ring on there as well, which is what's hung over my coffee maker, this one here. So that's the next seal to change. I've just been double checking on the build-up procedure. I've done everything to plan. I was just making sure at this point that I don't need to pour any hydraulic oil into it or anything like that. It doesn't say anything about, at this point here, fill with hydraulic oil and then put the springs on and put the top on, so I'm not going to. Which feels a bit counterintuitive, however, we will trust the book. Right, so yes, I'll put the springs in and I'll get the valve cover, put it on there, and we'll put the last seal in, which is on my coffee maker. Remember, it's on the coffee maker, don't go looking down here out. So at the moment we can still turn the shaft, but it's nice and smooth. Now when we tighten these bolts down, these springs are going to push those brakes together, and that should then stop me being able to spin that shaft. If I can spin that shaft, then I've done something wrong, basically. You'd be able to maybe, no, you probably won't. It's mechanically applied, hydraulically disconnected. That makes sense? Doesn't to me. Right, big Allen key. There we go. And finally, I've got that circlip to put on as well. Got this valve to fit, so we can put our pilot pipes on. We'll go in the bag and replace those O-rings. Okay, surgery complete, if you will. We'll have to see if it works now. I'm just going to go up there and chuck some gear oil into that swing gearbox, but first I'll put a boiler suit on. Okay, apparently it's 4:20 because my wife's just phoned and said, do you think you'll be back in time tonight? So that's our pipes on. Well then, we'll fire it up and see if that thing over there goes that way. Oh, right. Going round where it's wanting to. It's good. I don't want to swing too far either way because I'll either hit the counterweight on that or my van, and I'd like it to not hit my van. Them joysticks have got nothing, look. Tell you what, I'm relieved to see it moving anyway. Right, I think what we'll do is I'll leave it running because, well, can't see any oil come up out the dipstick hole yet. It's there. So that's a good thing. That is a good thing. I did dip the oil before I started. It's just on the tip of the dipstick, so it wants a couple of pumps with the oil pump, gear oil pump, which I might do now while that lot there. Sorry. Well, that lot there is tied back out my way. I'll do that. Right, dipstick time. Yes! Happy days. Ooh. I think I might have fixed it. The oil isn't very hot yet though, but well, there's very little I can do about it now if it isn't going to stop the leak. Okay, he's going to have a do with that while I put all my tools away. Right, I've just been up again, I've got all the tools packed away, and the level is where I left it. Now a day's work will be the real test for it. It's alright to run it for half an hour, but I think these lads want to go home and so do I. Time is 10 to 5, that'll get me home for 7. Need to go and get diesel, call it 7:15. Could have done with being away at 4:30, but such is life, isn't it? I always end up getting a late finish when I come down here. Easy jobs only next time. Right, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, let me know by clicking the like button. And if you haven't already,
Like and subscribe.
there you go, like and subscribe. Cheers, we'll see you in the next one.